So I'm gonna try and beat this elite phase, which I believe is a little bit more tricky than it actually looks, because if you take a look at the rules, you're gonna see that the health is about the same-ish, it's about 95%, and the speed is actually reduced at 80%. Now we have two towers that are banned, which is basically the Moab Elim and the bottom pad, the elite defender sniper, but I think the actual reason why these guys are banned is because there's currently a bug going on which allows you to activate these passive abilities without having to leak lives. Now that also makes this whole thing a little bit trickier because, well, maybe not the bomb, but the sniper is actually really good versus tier 1 phase. Now the second thing that I think makes this thing a little bit trickier than it looks is the map length and the way that it's organized. So you guys know how phase works. Each time you proc a skull, he jumps a certain percentage of the track, and I think that number is 8% if I'm not mistaken. But see, here's the thing with this specific map, these vertical lines on the sides also will obviously count as the track length, but the only space that you can defend phase in is like this in the middle. I mean, I guess you could defend the sides if you're buying some global towers, but that's gonna come in later. So basically each time you proc a skull, phase is gonna be jumping a huge percentage of the track, and that can be very, very annoying. So the time that we have to pop them is kind of limited, and I think that's what makes this event tricky. So let's see how we can make this thing happen. I'm gonna start with buying a farm over here. I actually tried the setup in sandbox, so hopefully I don't mess up the placements. Alright, so the farming setup is basically, I don't know, what does it look like? Like a knight's move, I guess, in chess, in a way, which is the setup they came up with in sandbox. And so here is how I want to place a village down, which is, let's go like this. Let's go for the bigger radius as well. Usually if I can avoid buying the bigger radius, I do that. I don't buy it, but let's just have it like this because we want to have the village range up here when we remove the tower. Okay, it might be time. Let's do it. Let's remove the tower and see if my placement is correct. So I should be able to fit, oh my god, it's not. No, I think this farm should have been a little bit lower so that we can fit to one more over here. I mean, I guess we could, but this is the prime spot. I want to use this spot for defending. Alright, so let's actually do this then. Let's buy the trap first, and then we're gonna go into the Rubber to Gold Alchemist, and that's probably gonna be it for the tier 1, I was thinking. So go like this. Let me just buy the balloon trap. Let me try and actually find a spot for the trap in between both of these tracks, because if you can actually deploy it and it can absorb balloons from both of the tracks, that's gonna be really cool. We don't have to kinda, yeah, you actually can drop it, and it is absorbing balloons from the top side, but the question is it gonna absorb balloons from the bottom? Yeah, I actually think it is. So let's move on to buying the other farming tower. So I bought this guy, the Rubber to Gold, on the left side. I'm gonna buy one more, guys. So I'm gonna buy one on the right side as well. Alright, so tier 1 incoming. I do have a plan for this one, so let's see what we can make happen. So first things first, let me try and get a ninja. Let's go for something like this, maybe the 204 on the ninja. So I started off with this guy with the sticky ninja. I was thinking of buying a spike, and I guess the idea behind the spike is we're gonna get a little bit of extra damage, but it's also global coverage now that we don't have the sniper. So you guys know what, I'm actually gonna do it. Let's buy the spike storm. Yeah, let me use the spike ability. Let's just try and get as much damage as possible. So here's a problem, because we're only defending the center, this sticky ninja is not doing anything currently to the boss. Oh, and you guys know what, because the speed is at 80%, no, this is actually not helping us. Like, we need this guy to get full speed. We actually need him to be at full speed so he comes back in range of our towers a little bit faster. No. Alright, so we're back. We got one more spike ability. Oh no, this is not, I mean, the ninja is doing the thing. He's doing a decent amount of damage, but we have 3 more jumps left. Oh, this is gonna get so tricky. Look at the spawn point, it's getting moved again. Let's actually move the trap then on the bottom track. Sticky ninja is still doing the thing. I'm actually gonna use the ability. Can we get rid of, oh my god, we're halfway there. No guys, this is not looking good. The boss is on the last track, so let's move, I guess, the entry trap here towards the rightmost side. We're gonna have a spike storm in a second. I guess we can just keep farming. I don't know, I'm just gonna buy another central market, I guess. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save the spike storm ability because the spawn point is gonna get moved and it's round 49. What? We're so late with the pop of this boss. I'm telling you guys, this is a very, very tricky boss, and this is the exact reason, by the way, why I wanted to save the spike storm. We're gonna leak some lives, hopefully not too many. It's very annoying because once FaZe like goes through and does his jump, he actually destroys all the spikes on the field, and that's very annoying. And the sticky ninja is trying to do the thing. Let's move this guy to first. We're leaking a lot of lives. Can we tank all of those? I don't think so. Alright, so let's try it like this then. Let's buy one more spike storm, I guess. Let's sell both of these marketplaces on the side, buy it a little bit earlier. This is getting very tricky, actually. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dump the first one a little bit earlier. The second one is coming off cooldown. This guy's gonna erase all of the spikes that we had from the previous one, and I'm just hoping for the best at this point. I mean, the ninja is gonna stop doing damage in like a second. We do have a spike storm, and I'm just waiting to see when the ninja is gonna stop, and I'm just trying to I guess we have to use it right now because the second wave of the second group of 49 was incoming incoming. So 2 more charges, and I think the ninja is gonna do it. There's like 1 more charge on it, and this is gonna do it. The spawn point is at the end, and we have to be very, very careful for tier 2. Alright, our farming sucks, our setup sucks, and we need to fix all of that like right now. So let's sell basically everything. You guys know what? I am actually gonna sell both of these guys. Let me get the Minneapolis first, and then we're gonna basically do the same thing that we did. So we're gonna buy a couple of marketplaces. I guess we're gonna go into central markets. This is gonna be the last farm. Let's actually make sure we save some money for the defensive tower. So I was thinking of defending with this, with like a 0-3-2 Dragon's Breath. I also bought an Alchemist, so I'm gonna just give this guy something like a 3-2-0 on the Alch. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch the positions of the Alchemist and the Wizard, because the Wizard is a little bit too close to the track, and so he's not allowing for Bloons to go inside of the engine trap. So let's go for something like this, I think. Yeah, that's a little bit better. He cannot see the top track as clearly now, so this should make us a little bit more money from the NG. Alright, so here's what we can do for tier 2. I took a little bit of a gamble because I bought this BRF and the overclock, so we are not gonna have the money for the mat, which is how I want to defend the tier 2, like instantly. We're gonna have to wait a couple of rounds, and hopefully that doesn't come to bite us. If I hadn't bought these two, we would have had the money by now. Alright, so let me try and find a spot for the mat in the range of the village. So I guess we could have it here below Benji, I think. Yes, that's amazing. Let's go for something like this. We're missing about $11,000 actually for the mat upgrade. I don't like where FaZe is, guys. He covered like half of the top track by this point. His jumps are really big. So let's buy the mat, but be very careful because it's around 62. So we don't exactly want to be using the mat ability, because we want to use it for the waves on 63. So here's how we can help. We can buy the jungle jumps, get a little bit of extra attack speed. Let's use the siphon funding for the first wave of ceramics on 63, so that should be fine. Our defenses are really not that good, especially the mat kind of sucks versus ceramics, as you guys know. There we go, that was the first jump. For the second wave, oh, actually these guys are camos. Can we even deal with them? I think the Wizard kind of did deal with the second wave of ceramics, so hopefully this last one is not a camo wave. But I'm gonna wait on the mat ability and see if we can deal with these guys. I don't think we can, so I'm gonna use the mat ability onto a ceramic wave, and then I'm gonna try and steer it towards the face itself. I don't know about this one, guys. Like, he's halfway through onto the top side. We have like 3 jumps remaining, so I'm just gonna try and dish as much damage as possible. But look at these jumps, and look at where the spawn point is getting moved. I think that's kind of the most important part, right? And the most annoying thing. I've been actually saving the mat ability for this last jump, so the spawn point is directly on top, I guess, of our Dragon's Breath. But I did save the mat ability, so hopefully this is gonna clear out everything, because we cannot exactly defend the small balloons. And this is gonna be super. Oh, some balloons are leaking. Let me try and aim towards those guys. We lost a couple of lives. We do have a decent amount. We have like 400, so we can tank some stuff. Oh, that's... Wait, what came out of that BFB? Can we even defend this thing? I think we can. I'm gonna take the risk. Oh no, that's a lot of balloons, actually. 400 lives. Is it gonna survive, guys? I hope it does. 366. Yeah, that's great. Oh my god, I'm telling you guys, this boss is a lot trickier than it looks like. So I'm gonna buy the favorite trace so we get some extra sell back onto the mat, and let's go. Let's get the banana central. We also have enough money for the wall street, so I'm gonna buy this thing somewhere around here, I guess. Yeah, we have to learn a lot of lessons basically from these first 2 tiers, and is that late pops are not allowed. If you guys remember, we kind of started doing the damage when FaZe was like here on the top track, but on the right side, and we were just a little bit late, and that thing just kind of, well, almost made us lose at the end. All right, so it's round 80, and the setup for defending is ready this time around. So we're gonna go for the dart paragon, kind of a weak degree, honestly. I just bought like a couple of darts here at the bottom. We're gonna sacrifice them, and let's just do like without any sacrifices, see what degree we get. It's gonna be about 10ish, I guess, 12. Let's see if this is gonna be enough, because again, the jumps are gonna be big. We need to get the damage going as fast as possible, and hopefully, you know, the spawn point doesn't get moved so far back that the towers can just not defend. We're gonna have to be very careful for the upcoming degrees, because I wanted to get some sort of a global tower, so maybe the last one that we're gonna defend is gonna be the Goliath, just because it can fly all over the map. But for the tier 4, what if we keep this dart paragon, and then, I don't know, maybe buy something else, maybe something like an NG. I was thinking, let's actually keep farming. I kind of forgot to buy all these farms. Now that I look at this, we're kind of running out of farming space, aren't we? So it actually wouldn't be a bad idea if we rebought this Monkeyopolis into something a little bit bigger, where we're gonna absorb a couple of BRs. That's gonna be great, I think. How's the boss looking, by the way? Degree 12, this should be more than enough, but for a map like this, oh, I don't know, it's kind of getting close again. This is gonna be the last jump, but look at where the spawn point is gonna be on the last track. I think it's gonna be. Yeah, look at this thing. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna defend, but this is not the way I would like for us to keep defending these tiers. So again, super tricky. We get it done with the tier 3, so let's turn off all the start, and I think I'm gonna be selling this Monkeyopolis. Actually, let's rebuy it somewhere here on the side. 7 farms, is that the best that we can do? Honestly, we can probably do a couple more, but I'm fine with absorbing 7 farms, so let's just buy it, and let's keep rebuying all these BRFs. I think we more than enough cash, so we don't have to sell the Dart Paragon. Actually, the Bloons are going to become a little bit more serious because we're into free play. Alright, how is the OCD doing, guys? I think it's fine. I reorganized things a little bit, and I think this is a little bit better than last time. So this guy is actually a Monkeyopolis. This one is a Monkey City, and this is our farming setup, 300,000. The goal for the tier 4 is an NG Paragon, and then for the tier 5 is a Goliath, which we're gonna buff with the overclock, and hopefully that's gonna do enough damage. Okay, here it is, round 99. This is gonna be the perfect time to buy the NG Paragon because it's gonna need about 20-ish rounds to overclock itself, so that by the time we reach 120 and the last boss, he's actually going to become quite strong himself. So let's buy the Master Builder. I think I'm going to put all the money into this thing actually, which is kind of surprising, but we're going to need at least a degree 4. There we go. We get it right on the dot. That's degree 40. That's great. Yeah, so this is basically for full uptime on the overclock, and we are going to use the overclock on our degree 12 Dart Paragon. Alright, doing kind of fine. 3 jumps remaining, but the damage is amping up. One of the things that I did is I placed, let me just overclock again, but I placed some of these sentries here on the right side on the bench, which I'm not sure you guys can see. The cooldown is kind of fast, honestly, on them, so let's renew the purple one, which has global range. Let's lock it in place like this, and then yeah, these guys on the sides are not doing damage, but I'm gonna move them on as soon as we get the cooldown on the red sentry. Let's place it here on the bench on the left side now. Yeah, it's actually a good choice having the NG Paragon for this specific boss because you can use the benches. You don't exactly have to defend the middle only like you're kind of forced with the Dart Paragon, right? Let's place the blue sentry as well, and then let's just work towards getting these cooldowns up and just renewing the sentries again. We're gonna have one more jump, but the damage is looking like it's about the same as we did in the previous tier actually. Yeah, very tricky boss this one, but we do have the tier 4 and it's only one guy left. It's only the tier 5, and hopefully the Goliath can take it down, which is going to be an overclocked Goliath actually. Alright, so 120, and this is how things are looking so far. We managed to farm 1.8, which is fine. I guess we're going to get some extra cash by selling all these farms. Let's see how much money we're going to end up with, and that is 2.5 million. I think that's going to be enough. So let me buy all the tier 5s, all the sacrificial towers now. There it is, and finally get the Goliath, put all the money into this thing because I don't think we're going to be buying any damage amplification towers. That is a 49, which should be fine. I'm going to set this guy to Wing Monkey actually. We have the overclock ready. Let me just dump all these sentries. I guess I'm going to have the sentries in the middle now. Let's overclock this guy, and guys, I really hope that this is enough. We have a bombardment ability raise, so let's use it like this as fast as possible, and I think it's kind of looking fine. So we only proc one skull so far. Let's actually start using the benches, so I'm going to have this red sentry here on the side as well. That is skull number 2. The jumps are starting, but you guys know what? We actually started doing the damage a little bit earlier this time around. Oh my god, I accidentally overclocked the Dart Paragon. Hopefully this doesn't come to bite us. We have a Goliath ability raise, so I'm going to use it. So let's go like this. Hopefully I set it well. Let's start placing the sentries here on the right side now from the NG Paragon. The NG is overclocked itself, so it's doing a lot of damage. I feel like it's like not too shabby at this point. Obviously the Goliath is carrying, but I think the NG is doing a decent amount of damage by himself, and we're about halfway there. So halfway with the HP, halfway I guess onto this top part of the track. Let's use one more bombardment ability, which should take out this HP bar, and then it's gonna be one more jump remaining after that. So let's do one more overclock. Let's make sure we're setting up the Goliath ability, which is gonna be about here, and yeah, this is how you want to do it, it seems like. So global towers, I guess something that we could have done differently is probably buy the sub paragon, which is global coverage. I really don't think you want to be defending by using towers that are only like using this circle and this middle portion of the map. Let's do another overclock, by the way. So yeah, the sub paragon, the sniper would have been amazing if they hadn't banned it, I guess. But overall, because the spawn point is going to remain here on the left side, I think we actually do have it. So let me just keep placing all these sentries, do one last overclock, and I think we should finish this thing up with the Goliath ability. So have it like this, use it, and that should be about it with this boss. And look at this thing, the pop is basically on top of our paragons. So yeah, this boss definitely a lot trickier than it looked, and actually was really fun. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's gonna be it for this one, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.